Well, it was a hot summer afternoon, and I decided to get into the village liquor store at Folklife Village to pick up some cold beer. And I was just coming out of the liquor store when I bumped into George, good old Gabriola George, who was just coming out of the library. I often run into him there as well. And I said, George, it's a hot day. Why don't you join me for a cold beer? And hey, maybe I can ask you a few questions and record you for this show. And on this episode of Straight Outta Gabriola, we're having beers with George and B.S.ing. And every time I have a visit with George, I always find out new information. For example, I find out that George just happened to be at two of the most pivotal social unrest, civic and social justice events on the west coast of North America. And so he tells me a little bit about that. There's always stories with George and great insights. Here we go. I don't know, do you like Pilsner?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
If it's beer.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been here, too.
Have you?
I know where this corner is. That's Gastown.
Yeah.
Vancouver.
Yeah, do you like it?
Well, it was
Gastown.
okay for a while.
Yeah, Gastown's a little too
Oh,
too busy.
Guess what? This is where they had the Gastown Riot. Do you ever hear that?
No.
Oh,
How long ago was that?
well, back in about 1970.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they said no pot smoking. All the potheads and freaks said we're going to have a smoke-in or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the mayor, police said, they said, oh, no, you're not allowed to do that. So they both did what they wanted to do, and a riot broke out. Yeah, the police came marching in with horses, and if you look like a hippie, you got hit over the head with a stick.
It sounds like something out of like the southern United States or something, eh?
Yeah. Oh, I remember reading the paper about it, and I didn't even smoke.
Yeah.
I wasn't a freak back then. I would look like a normal straight guy. But all the freaks were my age, and I could talk to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember crossing the border with one.
Yeah.
And he didn't get by the border.
Really?
Because all he had, like we're in our 20s, he had long hair. No, well, I didn't get in too because I was with him.
Yeah.
So he just didn't, my friend who I was with, he just took off and went back. But I had decided I'm getting across this border, so I did. I just had to wait until a shift, and I went to a different border crossing,
Yeah.
and I got in.
Like to go back to the States or what?
Yeah. I was going from Toronto. I had a car
Yeah.
to deliver, and I was going to go to deliver to California. That was my job,
Oh, yeah.
to deliver this car, and I didn't want to get fucked up.
Yeah, no.
I had to deliver the car, and I just wanted to get away from Toronto, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, because when that was so back in the set. But then did you have to go back and forth to Toronto?
No.
Or when did you?
I was gone.
Oh, yeah.
It's a one-way trip for me. It was like I was escaping from Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that nonsense.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, here. Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to...
Here's to Steamworks Gastown
Riot.
Riots.
And this was the location of it, too.
Yeah. I didn't realize that part of history there. Yeah, so you came out. How long have you been on Gabriola now?
Oh, about 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, before I was always coming and going because I was living in Vancouver. Oh, no, actually, I lived in Nanaimo for a year, and then before that, I was in Vancouver for 25 years. That's the first place I came. Well, I went to the States first and spent a bit of time there, and when I came, after fucking States, I just wanted to get back to Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you travel a whole bunch in the States?
No.
Just like a few.
Went to California, hung out there, went to Berkeley, seen a riot there, and got tear gas from brought down a helicopter and tear gas the campus.
Holy.
Would you believe that?
Yeah.
69. Yeah. Google Berkeley Riot 69. You can see me getting tear gassed. Good thing I was a good runner. I got out of there right quick.
Yeah. When tear gas is flying,
Yeah.
be a fast runner.
That really stings. That
Jesus,
shit.
I've never experienced tear gas.
Yeah,
but
you don't want to either. And anyway, they got rid of me. If their idea was to get rid of tourists or whatever,
Yeah.
it worked. They got rid of me. I just wanted to come back. Anyway, yeah, after that, I got sick of that place, and I said, I'm going back. So I got a car, and we went up to Seattle, and hung out there for a bit, and then Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I stayed there for the next 25 years.
Wow. And then how'd you find Gabriola? How'd you come over here? Did you know someone at the time? Or?
Yeah, I'd visited here before. And I'd sort of come and go a bit.
And it's changed a whole bunch.
Oh, Christ, no shit.
Yeah. You know, I've been here about this as long as you have. I've been here 20, 21 years now.
Oh, yeah.
And I find, I was going to ask you, is it, over the years, is hitchhiking still okay? Can you still get a ride fairly easily?
Where, here?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
it's still
easy
pretty
for
good?
me. I've been at the same spot for 10 years now. If I wait 5 minutes, that's a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I've given you rides before.
Oh,
It's just
it's normal.
Yeah, they know your spot.
Well, it depends on the weather. Stay under a tree or shelter from the rain. If it rains, I know the trees, we can stand under and you don't get wet.
Yeah.
Or just keep walking. Nice day, keep walking.
Yeah, keep walking. Yeah, because there's good shortcuts to get to the village, which is, pretty good. Because you're out Barry Point way, right? That's where you're usually, What do you think? What other things do you think have changed over the years or are still the same? I don't know. Either one as a question on Gabriola over all these years.
Well, twice as many people.
Yeah.
Well, like for 10 years I've been going up and down Taylor Bay Road, and you should see the lineup waiting for the ferry. People are lining up not to get the next ferry, but the next one after that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of new people here.
Yeah.
Got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
So why'd they move here if they're going to wait so long to get off? That's what I wonder. So I guess you're really escaping. Oh, I know. They got a place for half the price it would have cost in Vancouver.
Yeah, but I think some of those people must come here and then think that they always have to leave the island to go somewhere else to have a life or
go to the hospital. They're old people. A lot of them got to go to the hospital.
Yeah, so they're forever in line. I know Pam, remember Pam McCartney. Pam.
Oh, yeah.
You know Pam.
Yeah.
She told me, did you once, when you grew up in Toronto or outside of Toronto?
Well, this is the next suburb.
Next suburb over, yeah.
East York.
Oh, East York.
East York County, yeah.
Yeah, and then she said, you worked in CBC, or did you work as a cameraman or something?
I was God. You know what that means? I was a lighting man on Friendly Giant.
Oh.
I turned on the lights. And if I said, let there be light, I press a button, and you could see the Friendly Giant.
God. You are the god of Friendly Giant.
Well, don't tell anybody.
No, I won't.
I'm trying to keep it quiet. And then in the same studio, there's Mr. Dress Up, too.
Yeah.
Same studio.
Two of my favorite people.
You watch them when you're a kid?
Oh, yeah. And I even showed my kids when they were young, because by then, I don't understand how CBC, this is the bullshit of CBC, how they would ever take those shows off the air. They should have just kept them on and run them as reruns forever. Because every generation of Canadian kids should grow up and watch Mr. Dress Up and Friendly Giant.
Yeah, I agree.
They're timeless.
Yeah, and they could see me lighting them up.
Yeah.
But you won't see my name on the credits, though.
No. Yeah.
I just got hired out of technical school.
Oh, yeah.
So when the lighting director said, that light there, I was the guy that actually did it.
Yeah.
All he did was stand around with the deer. He was pretending I was actually doing it. Plugging in the light.
Hey, I was going to ask you this, you and I have talked about this before. What does Jimmy Pattison need to do to make this place better for us? Like, back here, there's not enough seating areas, right?
Where isn't there enough seating?
Well, should there be more benches or something back by the pond?
No, just put a picnic table and see how that works.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you say, you know what? They used to have a picnic table in the park years ago, and it lasted, I was there for long, years and years. And then eventually, well, a lot of kids around, things would get trashed.
Yeah, but I mean, that happens eventually with stuff like that. You just put another one in.
Put another picnic table in there and see how long that lasts, because you'll probably need another one after.
Yeah.
You could put 2 or 3 picnic tables right here, and they get used. So just start with one.
Yeah.
And see how that. Oh, but then people say, "Oh no, don't do that. Look at all those terrible people. They're drinking." They'll say something like that. Eh?
Yeah. Which is goofy. I mean, they're just
yeah,
sitting
that's
around.
goofy. Hey, do you realize there's a regular dozen out here that they're here every day, and guess what they're doing? They're supporting the business. They buy beer, they buy cigarettes, they buy food, nonstop every day, all day.
Yeah. Yeah. So why not provide a little bit of a little space and more comfort for us to sit down and relax?
I don't know if I want to make them more comfortable, but we won't say that's why we're doing it, but we'll say, here, this table's for women and children.
Yeah. And then what do you think around front, where because I know, sometimes I see you, and I've been sitting there too on one of those benches in front of the library or real estate office.
Yeah.
They need more space up there.
Unfortunately, a guy like that made his money off cars. It'd be hard for him to get around his head. Let's just take a couple of these parking spots with his cars and put a picnic table outside the library. We can go in and buy a book. Or he can go in the beer store and sit down and have a drink like they do in the rest of the civilized world.
Exactly.
Let's pretend we're civilized.
Yeah.
They're scared to take a parking spot away and have a spot for people and a picnic table. Well, guess what? They already have it. And you know what I mean is people park in their car, sit there. And look, that's an expensive parking space. You have to have a car to sit there and have your lunch or wait or whatever you're doing, smoke or whatever you're doing in your car.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. I see it all the time.
Yeah. Why not just have a spot that's actually picnic tables and benches?
And guess what?
Yeah.
The old people will benefit if they have to walk another 20 or 30 yards. It'll be good for their health.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think?
Keep walking, like you said.
Right. But if you just drive up and you got to walk 6 feet, that's not going to be enough physiotherapy for these old people. They need more.
Mm-hmm. Like there was a guy, an old fellow on the island I really liked. His name was Frank Benamarangan. He was a real old fellow. He really had trouble getting around. But he had 2 canes, and I saw him in the village by the drugstore. He got out, and he's really remember
he's
him?
always walking around.
Yeah, and someone said, "Geez, Frank, I think you better get a wheelchair." And he goes, "God damn it, if you get a wheelchair, you die. I keep walking."
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good answer.
And he's probably right. I mean, if you did get a wheelchair, you'd have strong arms.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's right. I'd rather exercise my legs.
Yeah, if you can walk. If you're lucky enough to be a walker, we have use of our legs. Let's just keep walking.
That's what you want to do. Keep your legs moving.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, people want to keep their foot moving on the gas pedal, which isn't good for your health.
No, it's not.
Speed, because they all want to speed.
Yeah.
50 miles down the road, and guess what? That's why they're done. Speed kills.
Yeah, that's right, hey?
It's hard to kill yourself, though, walking or running.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think? I mean, that's a good one I was going to ask you about. And there's all of these celebrities, right? Have you seen it in the news and stuff or on newspapers or magazines that have all their advice about how to live the simple, beautiful life? You know how to do it, right? Well, here you figured out how to live life pretty good on this island.
Yeah, I guess so. I've been in the same spot for 10 years. So,
yeah.
Well, we'll see how it works.
Yeah, because it's hard. It can be hard to find a spot on this island if you're renting or staying somewhere.
Yeah, well, someone will want to take over my property.
Yeah, eventually.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure the real estate agents would love it. Thinking of the commission they could get.
Yeah, but that's what's getting hard here, right? It's getting hard to find places to afford to live, and then you worry because then is this going to be a place just for people with a ton of money to be able to afford living here?
Yeah, and both my neighbors, I get the impression they're like that.
Yeah,
and one of them doesn't like me because he figures I don't have as much money as he does, or they do. Well, there's a couple.
Yeah.
Well, you're low class. Don't cut. Yeah, they tell you. You know how they figure out you're low class? You don't have a lawn. You don't cut the grass. I let it grow. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, we call that, when it goes like this, like it's all kind of brown and a little different lengths. I say it goes Gabriolan in the summer. Just let it grow and die back. And it rains again in the winter, and it greens up again. Who cares?
Yeah. And I've had even sheep in my property eating the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, one girl was there for a while, and she brought some sheep over, and they were eating it one year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if you see any stray sheep, bring them over, and they could eat my grass. Free lunch.
Yeah, you're not going to charge them.
That's right.
Yeah, see?
And we're all fenced in.
Yeah, and no use of lawnmower, so you're saving the planet, right? Climate change,
you're
helping.
Cause global warming by annoying the neighbors with noisy machines. We have sheep, and they're quiet.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, and machines those lawnmowers. They're a heat source. And if everybody had this heat source and had it going at the same time, do you realize we'd have global warming this time next week? And we'd all be dying of heat.
Yeah.
Just from that extra heat cutting all the grass. Grass is supposed to grow. Grass causes things to be cool. See, these trees are global cooling.
Yeah.
Because when the sun shines, they have a shade there.
Yeah. It's totally true.
It keeps the sun off the earth.
Yeah.
Just in that spot there.
Yeah.
We need more trees, but where they made a big mistake when Jimmy bought this place, they proceeded to start cutting down trees. Now, if they had asked me anything, I would have spared them the work. But they think they know everything. They got the money. We know everything.
So what's the key to the good health? What's the key to good health?
Keep walking.
Yeah.
Well, that worked for me so far.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a car freak like everyone else. And now I don't even care if I have another one. Well, it may be, but I'm not in a hurry to get another one.
But it's a ton of money.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I just like not having to deal with licenses and the insurance company.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I lived back east, there's no law said you have insurance. You didn't have to have insurance. That was something said. If you wanted it, you could buy it.
Yeah.
So you could get your drive around with no insurance. And you know what? It was better because you drove carefully. Now everybody, they don't care. Hey, they're insured.
Yeah, right.
That's why people drive so crazy. They're insured. Insurance is dangerous. People think their life is insured. What a concept.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as life insurance. Everybody dies.
Mm-hmm. Listening back on this recording, it reminded me of one of the times I had a visit with George, and he had this great idea for making money. He said, I know what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a highly paid consultant. And I said, well, what kind of a consultant? What would you consult on? He goes, it doesn't matter. You could do anything. He said, all you do is you write a report, no one reads it, it sits on a government shelf, and then a few years later, they forget they did the report, they order another one up, and you write it again. Same report. He said, you can make a ton of money doing that. I can think of one or two very accurate and truthful examples of how that's gone on here on Gabriola with our local governments. Now, I wanted to let you know that on our Facebook page and our show's website, there's a portrait of George that Gabriolan Leslie Harris did. I think probably about 5 or 6 years ago. She had a project that she started back in, I think, 2013 or 14 called The Faces of Gabriola, and she was setting this target of doing portraits of all of the people on Gabriola. It was a learning exercise for her to teach herself how to do portraits of people. Leslie Harris passed away on May 17th this year following a lengthy illness, and all of us on Gabriola dearly miss her. She was a life force with fantastic kick-ass ability, willing to call BS on anything and everything. And I remember at the memorial service for her with daughters Brooke and Amanda and husband Glenn, they talked about her lovely way of, you know how the Inuit have supposedly 50 words for snow. Well, Leslie, and I remember this too, she had 50 meanings for the phrase, "That's lovely." And she was just a sweetheart. We miss her. And I love that this legacy of her art is this fabulous portrait of George. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Ken Gurr, and hopefully you'll keep listening to the show. We're working on lots of great episodes, more stories to come, so many stories to come. And I really appreciate all the comments and feedback we've been getting about the show. Bye for now.